Okay, welcome to our summits. And as we wait for more people to join, I'll just say welcome and just say again that we're so honored to be able to support you, the teachers, in this way. And we really value what you do, your commitment to the students, your commitment to excellence, so that the students have a hope for a better future, and your commitment to their character so that they can create loving environments around them is so important. And that's why we want to put these summits together, just to help you to be excellent in what you do. So we have in our topics so far 5 different topics that range from activities in the music classroom to curriculum development and childhood development. So the links to all of those are right here. If you click this, there's a link to all the slideshows and all the videos of our summit so far this year. So you can always go back and grow in your own teaching by looking at these as resources. So these slides will also be shared with you. And so this time, in our 6th summit, we're going to be talking about setting classroom expectations. So it seems like, especially in Nepal, but also in Darjeeling, you've been in a time where you haven't been in your classrooms. And then now there's a new school year, or you're coming back from being online. And so the classroom environment is going to feel a little bit new. And now is the perfect opportunity for teachers to set their classroom expectations right at the beginning, so that in the following months and units in the school year, the students will know what the expectations are for their behavior. So this is actually a big deal for teachers all over the world. And a classroom expectation, this is what the Center for Student Achievement and Solutions, they're based in LA, and they say classroom expectations are guidelines put in place to assist students and teachers in maintaining structure at school, especially in the classroom. And they're designed to help students understand what types of behaviors are expected of them during school. And that way, teachers can focus more on the academics rather than managing the student behavior. So if you set it right at the beginning, it'll be really helpful. Some classroom expectations are written on posters and then put up in the classroom. So I just, if you just Google, you just search on the internet classroom expectations and look at pictures, you'll see something like this, where there's all kinds of posters that teachers design, sort of a list of behaviors. Be responsible, be honest, be polite, and they'll put it on their wall so that teachers can go through it at the beginning of the year and then just point to it if a student is not following one of these expectations or guidelines. Then the teacher can just say, look, you need to follow this. So that is there's many examples of expectations. Here's another example that I just found on an internet search, where they made this display of their expectations. So you can see little portraits of the students, but also they're mixed in some words that the students promise to behave by. So these classrooms displays are very, very common in schools. So we can just watch a couple of examples of teachers and their ideas of behind setting classroom expectations. Let me just make sure I'm sharing my sound. Okay. we'll just skip a little bit.
That you don't want to miss. But before we jump in, make sure that you subscribe below. Everything is a procedure. Everything. And along with that, students need to be able to answer 3 questions when you establish a routine or a procedure. They need to know how to do it, where to do it, and when to do it. Answer this question. What do you want students to do when they come into your classroom? Got an answer? Of course. You want them to work. You want them to get started. So how do you establish this? One way, by meeting students at the door. If you do not have an assignment in your hand for students to get ready, make sure that you have a visual PowerPoint or some type of presentation or some type of written instruction on the board, and you address that situation at the door first day. Tell students that you have 3 things provided for them. If I'm not giving it to you in your hand, you need to read it on the board.
So this is one thing where he displays something like this, an assignment at the door, so he can greet the students at the door, or he can write something on the wall so that they can see what they're supposed to do, or give instructions with his voice. And then, and I think this might be the most common way in Sibu Sandesh and AG School Darjeeling right now. But there's other ways too, meeting them at the door, or writing something on the board, or having a presentation, having a visual display so that the students know what they're supposed to be doing. So this is a video that you can look at later. It just gives some ideas. We'll look at this next video from another teacher in the school district around Los Angeles, San Bernardino actually.
School's going to start next week, and I was thinking about my #1 goal and what that's going to be. So for me, I want my students to have a general idea of what the tone of my classroom is going to be for the remainder of the year. Good afternoon. We'll stop right here. Thank you so much for finding your seat immediately and following the instructions on the screen. I like how you're taking out a pencil already. Good job. Good afternoon. So setting routines on the first day of school is extremely important. It establishes for your students what your expectations are, and they understand as soon as they walk into your classroom, they know what's expected of them. So practicing routines and establishing what the routines are going to be are extremely important if you want your students to do well. We have tons of procedures that you're going to learn. Okay? We have a procedure for everything. I don't know about you guys, but I like when I go somewhere and I know what's expected of me. Okay? There's rules and procedures everywhere in life. When you go to the airport, there's a procedure. When you go to a restaurant and you're ordering food, there's a specific way you have to order food. You're following procedures. You may not realize it, but each and every one of us, every single day, we're following procedures. So that's what I'm going to do with you today. I'm going to teach you what my procedures are. All right, passing, exchanging, and collecting papers. Now in my class, there's a right way and there's a wrong way. So
you can see she's got a lot of ways that things happen in the class, and she tells the students how it happens at the very beginning. So that's what a classroom expectation is. In this video, I think there's resources. There's resources here. So you can look at what she uses. And this is for 7th grade. So this would be class 7. For this age group, this is how she would tell them what the procedures are. I think for the other video, it was class 6. And then this is also a class 6.
Whether you are a brand new educator or just new to your district, things are going to be a little hectic for a while, but don't forget to enroll.
So this teacher speaks very quickly, and she's I think I'm not sure which school district she's a part of, but she gives examples. She's a very funny teacher, and she gives slides. So sorry, let me see. For example, she'll put this on a screen, and then it says pay attention with your face. So basically she's being funny, but she's saying, I want you to have a giraffe face, this type of face. So let's practice having this paying attention face. Okay, ready, giraffe face. And so that's what she'll do. And this is for class 6, so I think it works because they're very they like to have fun. So that is another video, so you can watch it here just for examples of how to set the expectations in the class. It will definitely help for the rest of the year. So how you make them, because sometimes it's hard to know where to start. First of all, you're allowed to be creative. So you don't have to follow rules or do what someone else does. You can be creative because you, the teacher, know your students the best. So you know how you can, and you know your classroom the best, and you know what you're teaching is the subject, you know what's specific to your subject. So you can be creative and make it work for you. So first you can decide what your values are. It comes from your philosophy of learning, the bigger picture. So what are your values? Curiosity, I always want to be, discovering something new. Are your learning values being respectful? So you understand this person's perspective, treat that person like a human. So what are your values for your students? How do you want them to be as they learn? And then you make your expectations based on your values. So this is the more detailed way of how your values are practiced. So let's say you want respect is one of your values. Then you can say, only speak when it's your turn. So, because that's how the students can show respect in the class. They only speak when it's their turn to speak. Otherwise, they have to listen to the other teacher or the other student who's speaking. So only speak when it's your turn. That's what the expectation would be that reflects your value. If you have older students, so I would say class 7, class 8, you can involve them in making your expectations also. So especially class 8 students, you can say, our value in this class is respect. So how can we show respect in this classroom? And I'm sure the students will have ideas like only speak when it's your time. Raise your hand when you want to speak, or keep your hands to yourself, or something like this. So you can involve this older students if they're older. Then present your expectations in an engaging way. So how are you going to show it to them? Is it speaking? If it's speaking, then it needs to be very short. Like, raise your hand. Speak when spoken to. Sit when it's time. Stand when it has to be short. If it's going to be written down, you can write it on a paper and then paste it on your wall, like a display. Or is it going to be an assignment that you give them? So how are you going to present it to them? Maybe you can create a display together. So then it'll be easier for them to remember. It especially works for older students. If you sort of set the expectations and create the display together, or how you present it, you can create the display together. So you want to do it in an interesting way. So we saw some examples like this. This would be for younger, maybe like grade class 1, class 2. So we promise to be respectful, be friendly, listen and follow direct. So this is what an expectation would be. And I think the students made their portraits, but the teacher made this and then put it up. So I'll tell you how I made my classroom expectations for younger elementary for music class, because I'm a music teacher. So I'll show you an example. I taught all of these ages, but I'll just use this one. So the students in the younger elementary for music class, so they're imaginative. How they learn is role play and storytelling, and what they need is consistency and routines and positive reinforcement. So for my younger students class, class 1, the values I wanted were listening and learning. So always knowing that there's something new to learn, and they don't know everything. Sometimes these younger kids think they know everything. Grade 1, class 1, and so they have to know that they don't know everything, and then respect each other. So pay attention to the people around, and then make sure that they're showing respect. So then I made these expectations. Keep your hands to yourself. Walk, don't run. Talk when it's time. Play, like play an instrument when it's time. Lie down when it's time. For some reason, this class loved to lie down, so I had to tell them that they can only lie down when it's time to lie down. And then how I presented it is we would always sing a song first, so then they would know, okay, it's time to think about what the classroom expectations are. Like, I'm in class now, so sing a song. The song would change every month, but we would always have an opening song, and then show them the slideshow. And then how, I know these classrooms, your classrooms don't have PowerPoint, but you can always print your design and then paste it on the wall, which is what I did also. I printed them and then I put them on the wall. So I'll show you what they looked like. So I had my class, general music, KG and 1, it was combined. So I had this was not written because they're not good at reading yet, but you can do something like this. Walk to the instrument next to your folder. So I told them where to go when they would walk into the class. Sit at that instrument, crisscross applesauce. So once they arrive there, they can, and then wait, which means quietly wait, because something awesome is about to happen. So this is the instructions I would give them when they would walk in class. And then we would start with the song. So this is an example of a song. It's a very popular one. And then it's fun because you can use sign language too. So it's the more we get together, the more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. So we would just sing this together in the beginning, so they would know, okay, class is starting, I'm in class, it's time to open up. And then for this age, they're using their hands like this, and they're using sign language too. So they're learning sign language, but also they're engaging their body, which is really important for this age. So then once their mind is sort of in the mindset of I'm in class, then we would go over our behavior. So I would show them these pictures. Keep your hands to yourself. So they would know that if they saw this picture, it means your hands to yourself. Walk, don't run. So they see this little like walking boy. There's difference between walking and running. So they're supposed to walk in class, not run in class. And then only talk when it's time. So raise your hand if you want to talk. Otherwise, and if you're called on, then you can answer. Otherwise, don't talk. Because these kids love to talk. And then if everybody's talking, then it's hard to tell them what to do or explain what the activity is or what the concept is. So, and then, this is in the picture. And only play when it's time. So for music class, there would be instruments. And then if there were instruments out, then the students just want to like mess around and play and get all the sound out. And so it would be important to set this expectation because that's respectful and also that allows for everyone to learn. So only play when it's time. So if it was an instrument like this, keep your mallets on your lap. And then ready position is like this. And then when we're about to play, then you can hold your mallet over the keys. So it's just very, very specific like this. For another class, maybe you could say only write when it's time. So keep your pencil right here. And then when it's time, then you can pick up your pencil and then it's time to write. So these are just behavior management. If you're really clear about only use your pen when it's time. And so now is the time to use your pen. When it's time to use your pen, you pick it up and then you get ready to write on your new page. Something like this so they know what the expectations are. When they're a bit older, the expectations are different, but this younger age, it has to be kind of specific like that. And then for this class, only lie down when it's time. So they were allowed to lie down, but only when I told them. So otherwise, they would have to sit up. So I would teach them, okay, this is how you sit in class. And then you can lie down when I say lie down. So this is how you lie down. Okay, so let's practice. Sit. Okay, now lie down. So this all happens the first week of school. So that way, I don't have to do this later on because they already know what the expectation is. And then these are the instructions I would give for when the class was over. So clean up. Put your folder, pencil, eraser, and sharpener in your shelf. So very specific. Put your mallet for the instruments on the desk and put your cushion, they would sit on a cushion on the floor in the pile. This is for music class. Bring your instrument to the shelf and then line up by the door. So it can be very specific. Put your book in your desk or put your book in your bag. And then, so this would always be the way we would leave the class. Put your pencil in your case. Put your case in your bag. And then put your bag on your back, line it by the door. Okay, walk to your next class. Something like this so that you don't have to, deal with chaos at the end of class. So if you go through, this is how we enter class. This is how we leave class. This is what happens in class. Where's your body? Where is your brain? Then, yeah, set it up at the beginning. So beginning's a good time to do this. So I thought maybe we could you could watch me do one for older elementary. Okay. First, we'll do values, then we'll do expectations, and then I'll figure out how to present and then how to display. So just for time, I'll just focus on maybe teamwork. So you can watch me make it. I'm just gonna do teamwork. So maybe the expectations that I would want for teamwork. Listen to your classmates when they're speaking, when they're sharing. So that's definitely a part of teamwork. Another thing could be helpful. And then, because maybe if you're working together, and maybe one of the classmates has lost their notes or their like instructions or something, be helpful. So share some instructions with them, something like this, because we're a team. So just say, these are the expectations. I've got one based on teamwork, and then I've got two. And maybe one more if you have any suggestions. For teamwork, another one could be what could another one be? Share. There's an English one that goes, sharing is caring. So for younger ones, especially when they say, no, this is my paper, or this is my instrument or something, and then we can learn, no, this is together, we're a team, so we can share. Sharing is caring. Okay, so presentation. How do I want to explain these expectations? Actually, this one might be too long. Listen to your classmates when they're sharing. So maybe listen to others. That's easier to remember. Listen to others. So how am I going to do it? Well, present it. Maybe auditory. Say it. So maybe we say it. You'll see some examples where they'll go like, listen to others. Be helpful. Sharing is caring. So you can say it and then have emotions to go along with it. So okay, so you could say, okay guys, what's the expectations for teamwork? Listen to others and do it together. Listen to others. Be helpful. Sharing is caring. And then it could be something that you do once a week at the beginning of class, or in the first week at the beginning of every day. So you could say it. That's one way. Another way is visual. So see it. So you could write this down. For older elementary, they can read. You can write this down. Listen to others, be helpful, sharing is caring. Or find pictures, and then you could paste it on the wall. So that's another way. And then kinesthetic. So kinesthetic is feeling. Okay, so you can act it out, or make a display. So acting it out would actually be really good for younger elementary, but you could make a display together. So how do I want the display? Maybe one idea is you could do handprint tree. So you can like make a handprint with paint or something, and then create a tree. And you could say, this is our teamwork tree. Our teamwork tree in each hand is listen to others, another hand, be helpful, and the third hand, sharing is caring. And so then something like this, or you could write it and put it on the wall. But if you display it in your classroom, you could just list. Then you can always point to it and say, look, you're not being helpful. We need to have teamwork in class. Be helpful. Give that piece of paper to your classmate, or whatever. When you pass out papers or when you collect things, you don't want them to make chaos. So be helpful, put it in a pile and give it to the teacher, something like this. You could display a list. You could display pictures. So spending time on this in the beginning of the school year, I know students are now starting to come. If you spend time doing this, then later you can focus on the actual subject because you've already established your classroom expectations. So here's an example of how I made my expectations and I shared my expectations with my class about teamwork. So if you take a little time, you can see the teachers in the examples spent a lot of time thinking about how to create their learning environment by establishing classroom expectations so that the learning is effective. So hopefully these are some good tools for you as well as you create learning environments in your classrooms that will be nice for you, because you don't have to have such a big headache managing behavior all year long, because you manage it really tightly at the beginning of the year, and then hopefully you'll be able to have a much more fun time because you the teacher and the students know what's expected of each other in the class. So yeah, so this is it. There's a lot that you can go through. I'll just share these slides with Abindra sir, and he can share it with all of you in Dong, and then also you in Darjeeling, I'll share this with you so you can kind of, have some things to inspire you, hopefully. And then hopefully you'll have a much more effective experience, positive experience in the class with your students as you learn and grow together. So that is all for our summit. I'll just open it up to any questions. Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask before we finish our summit together?
Yeah, one thing, one that you have showed us the video, the first one, and that the one, there is the guy who was showing the things that he wants his class to do something when he enters into the class. So you are mentioning about in Darjeeling, there is a auditorily, they show something, they expect something from the teachers. I mean, the teachers expect from the students when they enter into the class. So they follow that one in Darjeeling. You were mentioning that one, and what is that one? I just want to know that one.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure which thing.
The first video that you showed us,
okay. Mm-hmm.
and that one, the third one.
Oh yeah, I provide. Oh, so what they might say is like, sit in your class. I mean, sit in your seat, listen to the teacher. Very yeah. Sit in the seat, listen to your teacher. Don't talk. Raise your hand. So
okay.
it's yeah. Those were the ones that I remember hearing. Yeah.
I just want to know that just entering into the class, or just when he enters into the class and then after that, I was just confused that he just entered when he was expecting just when he enters into the class, or when he enters into the class and then after that when he start teaching in the class. So I was just confused on that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one was already in the class, but in this video, it's talking about right when they enter. So that's best ways to begin class. So right when they enter, that's a good time to give auditory instructions. And yeah, I would hear the teachers say some things like this in Darjeeling. Sit in your class, get ready, instructions are coming. So instead of after they enter, which might be a bit trickier to get their attention and explain what you want. So right in the beginning. Yeah, and it would be just very like basic things. I don't think I saw something on the wall, but it would be very like sit in your seat, wait for the teacher, listen for the instructions right as they entered, which helped them know, okay, this is my behavior as I come to this class. Yeah. It would be something similar to this. Walk to your instrument next to your folder, or like for a non-music, walk to your desk, pull out your book, sit still, wait for instructions. Something like that at the very beginning. Yeah, good question.
So the one that you showed, the last slide, this teamwork. So this is for only for the values only for teamwork. This expectation, presentation, and display. So for others, we need to make the expectation, presentation, and display also, right?
Yeah.
For expecting learner.
Yeah, yeah. So some of these might be crossovers, but
yeah, right.
Yeah. I think based on these values, you will be able to make really good expectations. Yeah, and so this is just a way you can fill out this grid, and then it's an easy way to break down how you can make them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Any other questions? So maybe if you're trying something in your class and it feels a little challenging, or you get a little stuck, or something is not working, that is totally fine. And you can always ask a Bindra sir or me for any ideas or solutions or something, because I don't want to just give this to you and then say, okay, bye, have fun, and then like it doesn't work, because you, the teacher, knows your setting and your classroom the best. And so it's not me telling you this is how you should do it, but it's me giving you some ideas. And then if you find something that's not working or something, me as Creative Hope, everyone at Creative Hope is here to support you and help you, and offer everything we can to make it work in your classroom. So just let us know if it's like the display is not working, what else can we do? Or this expectation is not practical for my classroom. Or something like, what can I do? We're here to help you solve those problems together. So yeah, so you can send an email or send a message, and then I think Bindra sir will definitely let me know if there's anything that you need or questions you have. And yeah, so we have our next virtual summit is going to happen at the end of this month. So we had to wait 1 week just because I was traveling last week. So yeah, so at the end of this month, we'll have another summit, and we'll just go over an issue that seems to be relevant. And but if you have any questions or ideas for topics that we should discuss or anything, just let me know. So we can go over that together if you have like something you're interested in or something. Or maybe we can go deeper into classroom expectations, or we can go deeper into curriculum development or something. Just let me know so we can make sure that the summits are helpful for you. You don't want to waste your time. Your time is precious. So we want to make sure that these are helpful for you. So just let us know and we can go over those really relevant issues that you have together. Okay, so that's all for our summit. I know it's a Friday night, so the weekend is there for you. So I hope you have a good rest and have a great time with your new classes, bringing the students in, and looking forward to seeing you next time. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys at the end of, this says June. It's supposed to say, so I can fix it now. 30th.
So yeah, the submit will be on last of this month, right?
Yeah, the last Friday of this month.
Last Friday.
I'll see you on the 30th. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Have a good evening. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.